You don't like the
Why
Vegas
red?
jersey?
Why red? Why is
Because
it red?
because
Why is it red? No.
it's a
Why?
secondary
No. Well,
color.
no.
No, no, no,
It's a
no, 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 no,
tertiary
no.
color.
And welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks, guys. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
You're a dork. So we had to take a 2-month hiatus because Chris got COVID. So, it took 2 months for him to get over it.
Yeah, two whole months.
We're just kidding. We got lazy,
Yeah,
and then life got busy, and
I did get
off
COVID
season.
though,
Chris really did get COVID. So,
but nothing happened before.
by the way, how was that? Was everything all right?
I was sick for 3 days, but I didn't even lose my taste. I really wanted to bite an onion. You seen those videos where they eat an onion like an apple?
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to that, and I didn't even get to do it.
No, well,
So in short, it sucked.
one of my friends from church is a really picky eater, even more so than I am. And he got COVID. And when he got COVID, he lost his sense of taste. So he spent the next week eating nothing but salad because he wanted to be healthy and lose some weight.
Genius.
So while he had COVID, he lost weight and ate a bunch of rabbit food. So I thought it was awesome.
That is genius.
Okay, Chris. I'm sure nobody really wants to hear us talk about COVID, although we're very happy to hear that there is a vaccine that just got approved by the CDC. So,
I think
hopefully,
many people are excited to hear about my medical symptoms.
we
We can make a segment out of this, honestly.
What would you call it?
Medical symptoms with Chris.
Medical
That's pretty
symptoms.
catchy.
Medical symptoms with Dr. Chris. Okay. Anyways, all right. So we have a lot to talk about, and we're not going to get to all of it in this episode, because we still got to talk about the return to play and what that's going to look like, and how the division realignment is going to be like. And I put up a YouTube video, but that's just half of it. The other half I haven't even finished editing yet, and we'll get to that when we can. But we need to catch up on everything else that's happened in the past 2 months. So let's get us started. Let's start with the obvious news that big surprise, nobody knew that it was coming back. Rick Bowness returns as the official non-interim head coach of the Dallas Stars. I mean, pigs flying could have seen this coming from a million miles away. Do you think this is a good move?
I mean, I personally don't like Rick Bowness' style of coaching, but I mean, it worked in the playoffs, so it'd be stupid not to hire him again. So
right, yeah, take a team to the Stanley Cup final and then not renew him.
Lose your job.
Yeah, lose your job. Cup or bust, which is probably where the Toronto Maple Leafs are at right now, but not the Stars. So, okay, so do you really think that Bowness got the most out of this team, or do you think this team just rallied together at the right point?
I think it was more of rallying together, but that's the way the team was built, right? It was built so that the players are the leaders, so they don't need this coach hanging over their heads to whip them into shape. They don't need a Ken Hitchcock. They've got Jamie Benn and Joe Pavelski and even Sagan now to figure out how to get the team on track. But Bonus is able to get the best out of his players, and especially with old guys, having a players coach is normally better than having a
non-players coach,
a slave beater. But yeah,
let's not talk about being a slave beater in front of Babcock over there, right? So, he played mental mind games with some of these kids, like with Marner. I feel so bad for poor Marner.
I heard about some of that stuff. Yeah, go look up those articles if you want to look at a psychopath's mind.
My goodness, and he hasn't had a job yet, so I don't know if he gets it.
I don't think he's getting one.
Not for a while, at least. Not until the PR goes down, and even then, when he gets a job, that's gonna pop back up again. So, okay, so I really think that Bowness got the most out of this team, and that he was the perfect coach for the right time. And I think this is an excellent signing because honestly, I think our window may be this year and next year, and that's it. I mean, it's very quickly coming to a close. I mean, we can't take another step that would be seen as a good thing, right? I mean, we beat Nashville in the first round 2 years, like 3 years ago or 2 years ago or something like that. We took a step, and then we took a step even further this year with the Stanley Cup. So, or with the Stanley Cup final. So, do you think that this team at this point we're in a cup or bust mode right now? Because it seems like a lot of people, especially on the media, are not giving the Stars a chance. And I understand that there's Colorado, which I'm deathly scared of, and all these other teams, and Vegas is still there as well. But do you think the Stars are just not getting the credit they deserve, or do you think it
Yeah,
was just lucky? We had a
yeah, I've
lucky
definitely
playoffs.
noticed that. Like all the media, like even Stars media, are talking about how like the Stars are like barely cup contenders still, and like yeah, I totally disagree with that. If you look at the way we went to the finals this year, our best players weren't even playing at their best.
Nope.
Jamie Benn still hasn't had a good season. His past 2 seasons have not been up to his pay grade. And Sagan was hurt the entire time with a crazy injury, and we didn't have our starting goalie, who was a top 3 goalie the year before.
Right.
So we did all that with like half a roster, a line, and a fourth line that belonged in the AHL. So I
Especially in the
think,
Stanley Cup final.
yeah. So if the Stars are the exact same as they were in the Stanley Cup final series, yeah, they're a fringe cup contender. But if one good thing changes in our way, we're way better. If Jamie Benn gets back to not even his full form, not even Art Ross form, just a good first line left winger, this team is way more dangerous already, even without Tyler Seguin. So I definitely think that they're getting shortchanged from the credit they deserve. I think that they're going to be much better than everybody else thinks.
Well, and it's just like the New York Islanders, right? So the New York Islanders don't have like a superstar. Like when you think of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they've got three huge superstars on their first line. They've got Tavares, they've got Matthews, and they've got Marner. And then I think with the Islanders, they have Matthew Barzal. And then the Stars don't really have anybody like that, really, right? Like in their forwards. Now, our
Yeah, the
equivalents,
Islanders don't.
yeah, and our equivalents to their Matthew Barzal, I guess, is Miro Heiskanen.
Yeah,
So I
and
mean,
he's
he was putting up points left and right, and until he kind of disappeared in the last two series. But anyways, we're kind of getting off on random tangents, but this is fun. Anyways, okay. So bonus, yeah, he's back. Good thing. Let's talk about three signings that happened while we were on our COVID hiatus. Free Honka, he returns. So Julius Honka finally decides to return to North American ice. He signs a one-year deal, two-way. Which, for those of you that don't know how a two-way works, a two-way means that they can get paid an NHL salary in the NHL and an AHL salary in the AHL. So if they had a one-way, they would get the NHL salary, period. So this is a very like money-friendly deal for Jim Neal to sign. And I think that Julius Honka kind of finally realized that like if he wants to get back in the NHL, this is one of his last shots.
this is his last shot. Yeah, I mean, all the fan pages were kind of blowing up with this, with the free Honka stuff and being excited about him returning. But I honestly feel like it's inconsequential. Like, it's kind of a Hail Mary last attempt with him. Honestly, like he's not going to be the great defenseman like that we thought he was 5 years ago. But I mean, maybe he could sneak into the third line. Maybe he can do some good. We'll see.
Yep, but it's going to be
Either
very
way, with
interesting.
the two-way contract, it's there's no risk.
Right. This is going to be very interesting to see how this turns out. And it's not like we need another puck moving defenseman.
I mean,
We've already got
we'll take as
Kleinberg
many as we can get.
and we've already got Kleinberg and Heiskanen. Let's just throw a third one in there. Why not?
Can't hurt.
All right, Rope Hintz. He signs a $9.45 million deal over 3 years. So that's an average annual value of 3.15. So that's a pretty decent contract for both sides, especially for the Stars, and it's a bargain if he can continue his production.
Yeah, if he produces this the way he was the last season, then it'll be a great deal. So that I think that's really solidifying him as a second line forward. So if he can live up to that money, then that's going to be an outstanding signing.
So what would you expect out of him this upcoming season? Because I mean, it's obvious that the Stars' biggest problem is offense. I mean, we have good goaltending, and even with Ben Bishop out, who is, according to NHL, the third best goaltender according to their list, and we still survived on that with goaltending. Our defense, especially the emergence of Jamie Alexiak, that solidifying that fourth, number 4 defenseman role, which we've been missing for years now, and that helped a ton. But
Hmm.
he's got to score points. So
And he's proven that he can. So his last season, he got career highs in goals and assists, and we only played 60 games. So he's showing he can do it. Hopefully, this is a exponential curve, and there's no taper off to the end of it anytime soon. But if he can pump up a 40-point season, would be awesome. 40 points out of Hintz, that's a win, and you'll pay $3 million for that any day of the week. So I'd say the goal for Hintz is 40.
with
Well, if it was an 86 game season, since
80,
it's less,
82,
yeah, 82.
82.
Sorry.
That's right.
Since we're having less, it's probably more like if he can get to 30, that'd be awesome. 25 maybe.
Well, so looking at his totals this year, 19 goals, 14 assists, 33 points. And right, they were all career highs, but especially with Tyler Seguin being out, do you think he's going to be one of the players that the Stars lean on a ton?
That's the question. Who's gonna step up when Sagan's out? The three people I see. I know we're gonna talk about Gurry in a second here, but you got Pavelski, who didn't do well last season during the regular season. He stepped up in the playoffs, but regular season his point production was very minimal.
Yeah.
Hintz, who has been getting way better, and Guryanov, who's been getting way better. So Sagan being out actually gives these guys a great opportunity, and it lets someone step up if they're willing to do it. So I think it's going to be really cool to see if somebody steps up, and if they don't, we're in trouble. Honestly, with Sagan being out.
Now, the interesting thing about Hintz is his uh, playoff production. So he skated in all 25 games, or 25 games during the Stanley Cup Finals. Not all of them, because I think he was hurt for one or two. But he recorded 13 points, and of those 13 points, only 2 were goals. So
Yep.
that's not
Which is flip
enough.
flops from his regular season.
Right,
He had
exactly.
19 goals and 14
And,
assists.
and now the other thing that was very spotty about Hintz is that I mean, he was dynamite the beginning of this year. This year, it's COVID screwed everything up. Last
The
October,
last
not yeah,
season.
last season, not this October, but the October before. Like that first month or 2 months or 2.5 months or something like that, he just like stormed off, and he was the only person scoring goals for the Stars at that point, and just took off where he was from the past off season. But after I think he got hurt at some point in November or
Hmm.
December, and then it just never was the same from that point on. I mean, he was still a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ragging on him at all. But I guess what I'm saying about Hans is that he needs to really start stepping up, and we really need his production to be up there
Yeah, that
at the
that
beginning of the
consistency
season.
that consistency is gonna be a big thing. Since and I think that comes with age a lot of the times too. So you'll see guys go off and have hot segments of games, and they get talked about a little bit in the media, and then they kind of go away, and you never hear from them again. So
Right.
we'll see if Hintz can become a star, or if he is just a hot flash.
Hot
So
flash.
yep. But it's also so if he can get a good start this season, like last season, if he has some kind of magic training that he does to make him that good, that would be really helpful in a shortened season, though.
Yeah, it really
The
would.
first 20 games, if he's that hot, it matters for much more than it did last season.
Uh, Here's my prediction: what I want from Hints this off season, or this upcoming season. which it looks like it's going to start January 13th, but it may start later. We'll see. We'll talk about that another time. I'm expecting at least 20 goals and at least 30 assists, so more than 50 points.
In a
That's
56 game season?
well, okay, let's prorate that over an 82 game season. I'm thinking 82
Yeah,
game season. So,
yeah.
I'm not sure what that would prorate out to. But anyways, in a regular
10
season, in a regular season, that's what I would expect out of Hintz if this upcoming season was a full 82 game schedule. 20 goals, 30 assists, 50 points. And y'all can figure out the math for that cuz I don't feel like doing math right now.
10 goals, 20 assists is
something
a high.
like that. Yeah.
8 goals, 15 assists. Yeah. 30
Okay.
points would be awesome in a 56 game season.
Okay, and I think we've already talked about him, but we're going to mention him anyway because he's another guy that needs to produce. Gary Onoff. Gary Onoff signed all the way back in October. And he signed a 2-year contract, and it was worth $5.1 million, so it was an average annual value of $2.55 million per year. So I kind of wish it had been a little bit longer, but also at the same time, I understand why Gary took this contract because he can make a lot of money if he really steps it up. And talking about other players that need to step up other than Hintz, it's Gary Onoff. We need a lot more from him this year.
Yeah, I think it's a really good contract for both sides, honestly. So it takes risk away from the Stars because if you think about last season, he was in the AHL. He played some games in the AHL. I mean, he dominated in them and obviously didn't belong there. But, like, he's still not established. I think this is the season where he establishes himself. He is a full NHL player, and that's it. But yeah, 2.5 is kind of a steal in my opinion. And I know it's for 2 years, and he's taken the risk that he is going to be a better player in 2 years. So he thinks he's going to be definitely second line forward. So I think it'll motivate him to play better, and it'll take risk away from us, and hopefully we don't have to pay him too much when the time comes around to re-sign him.
Right. Well, he scored 20 goals this season, so he's already hit that mark. But again, with Seguin being out, we need more from him. And so
either one of them really is the thing, though. So we have two guys who are really looking like it could be their year to step up, right?
Yeah, but
that's why I'm optimistic about it.
Could be.
Yeah.
And
but
that's the only thing that I'm scared about.
When there's a void, something's going to try and fill it. I think these guys are going to be motivated to try and do that. So that's why I'm optimistic about the season where other writers aren't.
Yeah.
Because I think one of these guys is going to step up big, and I think Ben is going to be better.
So over an 82 game schedule, here's my question. Do you think Gary Onoff could hit 30 goals?
I think he could. I mean, the way he plays to score goals. Like, he's a Alex Ovechkin kind of player.
He's a sniper. He's definitely a sniper.
He is trying to score goals. I think he definitely could hit 30. So.
Well, and the only reason he hit 20 goals this season is because the coaching staff was like, Gary, take more shots. You have a scary shot. And he did, especially on the power play. And we just need to see more of that, I guess. Maybe from the beginning of the season to the end, we'll see more of that. And, prorated out again over an 82 game schedule. In this case, 56 games. Maybe we'll see more of that. One can only hope. So
yeah, another 20 goals in a 56 game season would be great. So.
Right. Yeah, that would be one thing that I would love to see.
Yeah, to go on a quick tangent here.
Okay.
So the power play, the first line, it had been Ben, Seguin, Radulov, Pavelski, Klinger.
Mm-hmm.
Sagan's gone. That's your other side one-timer slot. Right. I think you slide Gary up there in the one slot.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, with Seguin being out, and Seguin was the one that would take those kind of shots. So
I think having good puck movers in there would be better. I honestly want to see Hintz in the high slot on that line too. Like, really? High slot, Hintz has played great in the high slot. If you look at some of his best goals, it's been digging in the high slot and making a nice wrist shot. So Hintz in the high slot would be awesome.
Yeah, and we've both talked about we really want to see a line of Hintz, Gurianov, and Kiviranta.
Yeah,
I would love to see a line of that. And
Yeah, that's another wild card we didn't talk about filling Sagan's spot. I mean, that's the biggest wild card, but who knows?
I don't think
I
I
don't
think
think
his
so.
spot I think his spot is solidified in the Stars lineup because of what he did in the playoffs. I think like it is his spot to lose, right?
And
So,
he was a
but
worthy fourth liner before that anyway.
yes,
Like he could
exactly.
have played fourth line with us all year.
Exactly. And he stepped up and he had some huge gargantuan goals. None bigger than that game 7 against Colorado. But um I, I mean a lot of Stars fans are like, "Oh, he's going to start scoring 30, 40 goals." And I'm like, "Okay, tap the
I'm just
brakes
saying
for a second."
I, I'm just saying he's on my radar. He's on my radar to fill that slot.
The man, the myth, the legend, Yoel Kiviranta. Okay. All right. Random tangent there. We'll talk about that more another time. Okay. And all right, second on the agenda list, we got to talk about the 2 jerseys that the Stars came out with this offseason. So one of them was already going to be released anyways before they did this whole reverse retro thing. And if you go look it up, I think they're starting to call it the blackout jersey is what they're calling it,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's like a neon green, and it's fully black, and it's got neon green on it. Although I forgot the exact color that they call it.
Skyline green is what they call it.
Skyline green. Thank you.
But I'm so happy they finally have used the secondary logo on a jersey. I've been asking for this since the rebrand. The secondary logo is so good. It's finally on a jersey, and I think this jersey's awesome. The skyline green is weird, but I like the weird. The weird is good.
Mm-hmm.
Chris like weird. I like this jersey.
I
I
do
think it
too.
looks good, and I think the uniform looks sweet, and it's pretty simple. Well, other than the neon green, obviously. But
Mm.
like they did neon green and said, "Okay, that's it. No other weird stuff going on." But if you like neon colors, you'll love this jersey. And yeah, I think it's cool. I'm glad we have a black jersey. Looks fire.
Yes, it does. I agree. And you know, everybody was talking about like let's go to the reverse retros for a second. Like some of the really ugly jerseys from the reverse retros. Anaheim, I'm looking at
I think
you.
they're great. I think they're great. I love the ugly. I think
No,
the ugly reverse retros are on purpose. I know they're on. The Anaheim one has to be on purpose. That is
no,
the best jersey ever. That
no.
is amazing.
It is
Y'all
the
go look it up.
no.
It's the logo with the duck coming out of the ice with the stick in his hand. He's like this macho duck. It's the best jersey ever. If I had money, I would buy it. I seriously would. I love it. It's amazing.
You would buy that.
I paid $250 for that jersey.
No,
Yes,
I cannot believe you.
it is
I
so
cannot
good.
believe you.
It's amazing. It's a joke. Everybody knows it's a joke, and
But
it's a
okay,
great joke.
but here's the point with that Anaheim jersey is at least they weren't boring and they went for something crazy and insane.
Are you about to
Unlike
go off on Edmonton?
no. Edmonton actually was semi decent. It was okay. What I'm talking about is the Islanders. That is the
Oh
dumbest
yeah.
thing. There was no. I was like, wait, that's a reverse retro. It looks the exact same.
Yeah, the
And
Islanders
then
are like, we don't want to do this.
yeah, they're like,
this
yeah, we're
is lame.
pass.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, and then the
Yeah.
other team that kind of frustrated me was Detroit. It literally looks like they took a white practice jersey, slapped the logo on it, and then put a little like silver stripe right here, like like halfway down the sleeve. It looks stupid. It does not look interesting whatsoever. And again, that's hard pass. Is what it looks like the Detroit Red Wings said.
Speaking of
But
looking stupid, segue into the Stars jersey.
oh gosh, yeah.
Okay,
So
when they released the Stars jersey, they just had like a person wearing casual clothes and they had the jersey on. And I saw it and I was like, that is nasty. It looked so bad. But I want all of y'all to look up Stars Reverse Retro uniform. And they have the player wearing the whole uniform, they got the pads, the socks, everything. The whole uniform together looks pretty sweet. Have you seen the uniform together, Ryan?
yeah, yes, I have. It looks a lot better. And honestly, I like the jersey from the beginning anyways. And I made a joke on Twitter and I said something like, this jersey is just asking for nacho cheese sauce to be spilled on it because
Yeah.
it was just too much white. But
Yeah,
it
I
was
will.
slick. It was very
Yeah, I
slick.
will never buy this jersey.
Really?
I think it looks bad by itself, and like I'm not taking it to the dry cleaners after every game. It's gonna get stuff on it. Like,
Peanuts, I guess, for us because we always eat peanuts when we go to the Stars games.
yeah, I would get the blackout. I think the blackout jersey is cool. I like this jersey. I like how they changed the gold on the old logo to silver.
Hmm.
I think that looks fire. I kind of wish they would have just used the new logo because I like the new logo better. But it's still cool looking, and I like how they didn't go back to the old colors. I think it's good for the brand to stay on brand with the new colors. I like silver better than gold on stuff.
Well,
So
that's the whole reverse retro thing, right? They use their new colors with the old logo, and I was very happy to see this logo come back. Anyways, just because that's the logo I grew up with was that
yeah, me
logo.
too.
But
But
you
the new
know,
one's great. I love it.
yeah, I do like the new one. They did a great job when they created this logo. But you gotta love the throwbacks and you gotta love the retro stuff. So I think it's excellent. You I guess you kind of already answered my
Yeah,
question,
I
but
think the uniform is excellent. I think the jersey is very meh.
yeah, very meh. And
I love white gloves. The white gloves are so cool.
yeah,
I love
the
white
white
gloves.
gloves do look
When
kind of
Vegas
cool.
came out with their when they first became a team and they had their white gloves on their away uniforms, it was so cool. I love white gloves. More white gloves than hockey.
White gloves in hockey.
End of segment.
All right. Well, you've already answered it for me, but if you had to buy the jersey, which one would you buy? The new blackout or
Blackout.
the reverse
I
retro?
like the blackout. The jersey overall by itself looks better. So like if you just wear it to the game with some jeans, that would look better than
Hmm.
the reverse retro. So yeah, blackout one.
Yep. And
And
I'm
the
gonna.
secondary logo. I love the secondary logo.
Yep. I'm gonna agree with you. I think I would rather get the blackout jersey over the reverse retro, but I still like the reverse retro, and I still would wear it to a Stars game, and not order nachos. So
Yes.
yeah,
Or any food.
or any food.
And I would just
Yeah.
like walk like this so as to not touch anything.
Or maybe I'll order Sprite. I'll order a Sprite and like what kind of food is clear? What kind of food is not messy?
You gotta get Diet Sprite and flavorless Jello with no
Flavorless
sugar.
Jello. There we go. There we go. Those two things, and then the jersey will be okay.
That
Okay.
sounds enjoyable.
Okay. So we very rapidly caught up with the off season in 27 minutes. So let's
So
talk.
rapid.
So rapid. We went pretty quick. Uh, and that's not including all the other stuff that's happened in the NHL. Okay. Anyways, before we get to our next part, what are the worst reverse retro jerseys that you saw? What are okay? Give me like three.
Oh,
Give
I
me
can't
three.
remember.
I'll
You
pull
give
them up.
your three first.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a chance to pull yours up because I already have my three. Okay, and we already kind of talked about it, but Anaheim, oh my gosh, the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Um, and if we're talking not necessarily ugliest but worst, is Detroit because it again it looks like they did a hard pass, and then the Islanders it looked like they changed like one stripe on their jersey and that was about it. So, but it there were just some teams out of this list that just didn't even try, and then there were others that I thought I was just like, okay, that's very different. It looks kind of meh, but again, it looks kind of cool. So, anyways, are you ready? You
Yeah,
got
I'm
your
good.
three?
Okay.
Okay, show me your three.
So we got Vegas.
You don't like the
Why
Vegas
red?
jersey?
Why red? Why is
Because
it red?
because
Why is it red? No.
it's a
Why?
secondary
No.
color.
No, no, no.
No, no, no,
It's a
no, 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 no,
tertiary
no.
color. Gold, silver, black. No, it's a quaternary color. Gold, silver, black, red. Don't use red. It's an ugly red too. That's not even a good red.
Okay,
It's
what about the
nasty.
logo? Do
Their
you like the
secondary logo is
logo?
stupid. It's dumb. It looks
You're
good on a shoulder.
stupid.
It looks good on a shoulder. I will
You're
say that. As a
stupid.
shoulder patch, it's great. But like Nashville's not gonna put their little ball with the stars just on the front of their jerseys, have a giant circle. Like set if a secondary logo is a good secondary logo, leave it on the shoulder. It's fine. Just leave it there. It doesn't need to move. Just leave it. So I think that one's ugly. What was the other one? Where I need to look at it before I say. Okay, I'm gonna call out Minnesota.
You don't like the Minnesota one? I love the
Those
Minnesota
aren't
one.
their colors. Those aren't their colors.
That's
Those
the
are our
point.
colors.
That's the
No,
point.
they don't get them.
It is that is the fan base that had those colors from the Minnesota North Stars days.
No,
I think
those aren't their
I
colors.
think it
It's
is
stupid.
legit. No, it's not stupid.
So dumb.
I love that jersey.
And third, Columbus
Okay.
Blue Jackets.
Oh my goodness, you're picking all these jerseys that I love. I love
What is
that.
that logo? What is it? Tell me what it is right now.
That is their original first logo when they
Yeah.
joined the
What's the shape?
NHL.
What's the shape?
It's a CBJ. Do you not
Yeah,
see it?
whatever.
No,
It
there's a
looks so
C on the
dumb. What
side.
is it? It's
No,
like
there's
a little ribbon. It's a ribbon. I'm gonna make the initials with a ribbon. That'll look good. And you always lose points if you have a hockey stick on the jersey, and it's not ironic. Whatever, that's stupid. The Nordiques does it well. The Nordiques hides it. That looks good. You can't just put a clip art of a hockey stick onto a logo. What are you doing? You can't do that. That's not allowed.
Is there anybody
That's
else that
so
does
dumb.
that? I think San Jose does that,
Yeah,
right?
the Sharks had it.
The
The Sharks
Islanders
have
have
it.
it. The Islanders have it
The
in their
Sharks is the
logo.
most '90s jersey ever. The Islanders is fine. It's not just a clip art of a hockey stick. You can't just put a clip art. Like the Islanders, it's integrated. It's fine. The Capitals integrated. Vancouver's secondary integrated. It's not just a clip art of a hockey stick. It's
Mm-hmm.
not allowed. It's not the '90s anymore.
Hey, what's wrong with the 90s?
I was born in 2000, so the '90s suck.
Exactly. That's what I thought you were gonna say, little turd. Okay.
All right,
Anyways,
are we gonna give 3 best?
yeah, I gave you 3. Actually, I may have to do 5 best.
Well, you're gonna have to do them fast. You're not gonna be able to go. So go ahead, give them quick.
Okay, give them quick. Okay. One that I absolutely really like is the Los Angeles Kings jersey. I really
Yeah,
love
I
how
like it.
they used the Gretzky era logo and they flipped the colors, and I think it looks excellent. It's from the 60s and 70s, and it looks
I don't know why they got rid of those
absolutely
colors.
cool.
It's royal purple. There's no other purple team. Yeah, dumb. They should have
Right,
kept those colors.
right. And then they went with the black, silver, white stuff, which they have now,
stupid
and I'm
Kings.
just like,
All right, the next 4 are gonna have to be faster. Come on.
Okay, next 4. I love the Arizona jersey, as ugly
Me
as it
too.
is.
That's in my top 3. It's so good. It's amazing.
It's
The
it is
purple
amazing.
is so much better than the orangey stuff. It's great.
Oh goodness gracious!
I think we like the color purple.
Yes, I think we like the color purple too.
More purple, white gloves, and more purple.
For obvious reasons. I like the Nordiques jersey, the Colorado Avalanche jersey. They did an excellent job, and honestly, if there's like a win, if you're purposely trying to do the reverse retro flair, Colorado wins, jersey wise. I think they win. So that's another jersey I like. Oh, my Fitbit stats just came in on my email, whatever.
All right.
And then okay, how many is that?
Oh, you have one more?
Is that
I think
4
that was
or is
4.
that was
Yeah,
4?
that was 4.
There was one more that I really liked. I'm trying. Oh, the Screaming Eagle. The Screaming Eagle. Washington.
Oh, well, that's just 'cause
Washington's.
it's a good logo. The jersey's not great.
What?
The logo, fire.
No, the jersey is excellent. I love the red jersey with the Screaming Eagle.
Sideways stripe
great.
at the bottom. It turns me off.
Turns you off. Okay, what's your 3?
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna even rank them. I'm gonna rank them for you.
Oh,
They are
okay.
ranked. Number 3, Arizona. That's
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
That is fire.
I can get on that.
The purple, so cool looking. Love the bottom of it. That's awesome. Great to wear in public. Gonna look great on the ice. It's awesome. Great. Number 2, the Canes. Whalers. Awesome jersey. That's one of the best logos ever made in hockey.
Yep, agreed.
Right there. It's awesome. It's so cool. And then, number 1, to your chagrin, the Anaheim Ducks. That is hilarious. It is so funny. It is great. It looks like it belongs in the ECHL. It's awesome. I love it so much.
Excuse me while I go throw up in the bathroom.
It is so funny. Everybody knows it's fake.
Well,
It's such a joke, and I love it so much. It's awesome.
Well, when you look at the jersey, the logo that everybody expected is on the jersey, but it's on the chest of the of the duck.
Huh? Yeah.
That's a logo that
Yes.
everybody expected to come
It's
back, and
two
it wasn't.
logos in one.
I know, and
This is the 80s. See, you skip the 90s, go to the 80s, and then you got some good stuff. I mean, I have
that's
no idea if this is 80s. It's probably 90s, but
it's 95. 95. It was
yeah,
around the
that's what
95
that's
time.
what I thought. But anyway, it's hilarious. The only thing that would be funnier than that is if the Stars did a victory green moodorous.
Oh, I was
That would
so
have been
hoping they would
hilarious.
do it,
I was
but
hoping it would have been so funny. It would have we would have had two joke jerseys in the NHL, and that would be great.
right. Well, this is the Wild Wing jersey, as they call it. So, okay, I don't know if I like you. I agree with you. I agree
I
with
don't
your
know if I
second.
like me, so.
I agree with your second and third, but your first sucks. I'll
It's
tell you
so
that.
good. You'll
Okay.
have to go look at it. Please go look at it.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen all of these jerseys, uh, you're doing yourself a real disservice because
Most of
yeah,
them are fire.
yeah, most of them are really cool, and some of them are classic, which is great, like the Boston logo. I'm not a big fan of it because they didn't really
I
go
think it
out
looks
and
cool.
do something else, but it
I
does look
like it.
cool. It's classic. It's classic. And then like others like the Calgary
Calgary's
Flames,
is good.
they brought back the
Yeah.
Flaming Horse, and
Florida
what
Panthers,
else?
it's good to see
Yeah,
the Panther back.
that's
They're
a
not a
great.
Panther sanctuary
Mm,
anymore.
right. I love that jersey, and I love the colors on that jersey. Red, white, and
New
blue really
Jersey
works
bringing the
for them.
green.
So, anyways, in Montreal, bringing almost an all blue jersey, which is weird, but it looks good. So, anyways, go look these up and let us know in the comment section below what are your three favorites and what are your three least favorites or the ugliest jerseys that you think. Let us know what you think. Okay, and then our last segment for today, Chris, we're gonna talk about the three questions surrounding the Dallas Stars.
Yeah. So
So,
this was the article by Tracy Myers on NHL.com.
right. So, for those of you that don't know, the NHL does their 31 and 31 series every year, and normally it's in August, but in this year they're doing it in like mid-November to mid-December. And
As you do.
yeah, Dan Rosen does a fantastic job with these video series. I watch every single one of them, and him and whoever else he has on that do an excellent job. I enjoy watching those videos. They're on YouTube if you want to go watch them. But I thought it would be interesting to get our take on the three questions that Tracy thinks surrounds the Dallas Stars. And this first one, we very briefly kind of talked about it more so with Hintz and Gary Onoff. But the first question is, can Jamie Benn boost his production again? Because when you look at his production, he only scored 39 points in 69 games last season. So
Which is terrible.
that's terrible for his standards and the amount of money that he's making. Because he's making 9.5. That's a lot of money. And it's great that he does all these other things, like he leads the team, and he's
You don't
very
get paid
hard
all that
nosed.
money to lead the team and be a hard
Right,
nose.
right. And there's other people that like you could bring in for $1.5 million and have help lead the team with a veteran presence. But
Corey Perry.
right, there's a huge rumor that he may come back. So like if there's some weird salary cap thing like with Tyler Sagan being out for so long, then maybe they'll put him on LTIR, and then they
Whatever.
re-sign Corey Perry.
Whatever.
Yeah, come on.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, back to Jamie Benn. So, it was his lowest total since he scored 33 points in 41 games in the lockout shortened season in 2012-2013. So
33 games in 41 season and 33 points in 41 games is good.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But that's the lowest total he's had. And oh gosh,
He
I mean,
almost beat it in 70.
yeah, he almost beat it in 70 games. So what kind of production are you expecting from Jamie Benn at the very least? What does he need? What kind of points does he need to put up in order for this team to be productive and to be a Stanley Cup contender?
For this season, he needs at least 30 in the shortened season. So we have
30
56
points?
games. He needs at least 30 points. Probably more like 35 to 40. But if it's less than 30, you're almost talking about trying to buy him out at that point for how much we're paying
Which
him
that's
and how little
crazy.
production he's getting, which is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I agree, that's nuts. But if it's 3 straight seasons of us paying that much money for a player that's not that good, and we have other guys that are coming up and are playing well, and we need to pay them soon, that could happen in the next 2 or 3 years if he doesn't turn the ship around.
Right.
So he's got to do it, and this is the time for him to do it.
That's a
Like in
really
a short season, no Tyler Seguin, he's got to do it now. It's got to start now.
that actually is a really interesting point, because when you think about the salary cap's not going to go up for 3 years. They've already agreed that it's not going to go up for 3 years, regardless of if the league starts making a profit again. So,
And in 2 years, we got a Gurry to sign,
well,
and
and
a
next
Hintz
year
to
we have
sign soon,
Heiskanen.
and a Hintz to
Heiskanen,
sign soon.
no,
Yeah,
I
or
mean,
Heiskanen. Sorry, I meant Heiskanen.
okay, and Heiskanen is going to be expecting what, 7, 6, 7 million maybe.
Seven.
Klingberg's
Five.
making almost 5, I think, if I remember off the top of my head.
I think
But
5 is what he's looking. Unless he does something great this season, he's looking at 5, in my opinion.
so maybe after this season, maybe you give this season a hard pass because of the COVID situations and everything, and I would maybe give him one more year after this season, so the 21-22 season. And if then he still is not producing, at that point he's going to be 33. And if he's not
Yeah.
producing, then that's crazy to think that Jamie Benn could be a buyout.
Yeah. And we're talking about that, and we love Jamie Benn. You and me both do. We think he's a great player. We think he should be the captain. And the video that they posted at the end of the season of Jamie Benn just sitting in the locker room by himself after the end of the Stanley Cup Finals.
That
hurt.
hurts.
I didn't like watching that. That actually made me angry that they videotaped that. So I love Jamie Benn. I want him to play well, but he has to do it, or we can't pay him the money we were paying him.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. Hockey's a business. We've got to have points scored. I want to see my team win, and then I'll pay them more money to go to more games and buy more merchandise. So if Ben's not going to do it, then he shouldn't be getting paid. It sucks to say that, but that's what it is. It is what it is, sadly.
So this is something that Jim Nill said about Jamie Benn in this article. He says, quote, "He's a tough guy to gauge by points only," which, okay. He brings so many different elements. There's the physical presence he brings, the leadership presence he brings. There are not a lot of guys around the league who demand respect when he's on the ice more than Jamie Benn, and from a skill point of view and from a physical point of view. He's not a fun guy to play against, so there's a lot of value other than points, but I think he is going to bounce back. So Jim Nill is trying to make excuses for Jamie Benn, but at the same time, that last sentence says he expects the production to go up.
I don't even really think. I think excuse is the wrong word. I think that's not what you meant, but those are true. He is a respected hockey player everywhere he goes, and when he's not respected, he beats the crap out of the guy who's not respecting him. Subban. So
that is so funny. You were thinking that. I was thinking the exact same player. That is so weird. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So those are great things he does, and when we're saying he needs to bounce back, we're not saying he needs to win the Art Ross again. That's not going to happen. He's past that. He's not going to win the Art Ross again. But he needs to score points if he's going to get paid that money. So does he want to be a veteran presence on the team, or does he want to be a superstar now? That's what it comes down to, really. So if he's going to be a veteran presence, he's taking a pay cut. You don't pay veterans that much money. He has a superstar salary right now, and he needs to play up to it. So,
well,
it's not from lack of trying. We know he's trying. So he's got to find something. He's got to find it, or he's got to start getting lucky again.
Well, I just hope that this experience in the Stanley Cup Finals kind of kicked him in the pants, and he's realizing that's not going to be my only shot. And I hope that he used to have that presence about him several years ago, where he would just I'm taking this puck, you're getting out of my way, and this puck is going in the back of your net, period. I don't care what's happening. And
his Art Ross season, he could take over hockey games by himself.
And he needs to be able, not at the same level, but the important games, he needs to be able to do that. So that's a huge thing facing the Stars, and I think that's the most important question. Okay. Second question. Um, and this is another one that's kind of obvious. Is can Anton Hudobin handle the workload with Ben Bishop out?
All right, Mr. Opinions is going to say, I have no idea. So we don't know. He's never done it before. I think a 56-game season gives him the best chance to do it, right? So a shortened season, we don't have to use him as much, but also we're going to play a lot of games back to back and a lot of games in a short period of time. So it may be worse. So I don't know. I hope so.
I think he proved. I think he proved himself this in the postseason. Now, now he proved himself. That's great.
Yeah,
But the
I
problem
agree.
is he going to be consistent enough in a regular season that has a different feel than a playoffs
Yeah,
than a playoff feel?
Can he make himself play at that level when it's not a 7-game series
Right,
going on?
and he's not young. He's 34, and I think he's going to be 35 this upcoming year if I remember correctly. So, and and like you said, with all these possible back-to-backs that we're going to have, it's not just going to be Hudobin playing. So maybe the better question would be, can a tandem of Hudobin and Ottinger fill in for Ben Bishop while Ben Bishop is out?
Yeah, I think that's the full question because Ottinger is going to play a lot more than he even would in a regular season. So if we had a regular season without a Ben Bishop, we'd be seeing a whole lot of Anton Hudobin, pretty much every game.
Right.
But you can't do that when there's going to be
A
possibly like
playoff. A playoff.
15 back-to-backs whenever there's a 56-game season. So Ottinger's going to play whether he's able to play it up to the correct level or not. So that is definitely the full question.
That's going to be really interesting to see because I
What do
think
you think?
that's
You think Hudobin does it?
I'm with you. I don't know. I really don't know. And that's a huge question in goaltending that we haven't had to talk about the past 2 years because we've had Bishop and Hudobin, right? We haven't had to have that question. And it's funny that we're even having that question considering the season that Hudobin had. He had arguably his best season as a backup, and as a backup, he was ranked the 10th best goaltender by the NHL Network.
Which is crazy,
Bishop was at
but
third.
true. It's true though.
And
Like
he never would have made that mark if they had not made the Stanley Cup final. And if you go and look up y'all listening, go look up the highlight video of Hudobin in the playoffs. There's the top 10, and oh my gosh, like
nuts.
the types of saves he made and the amount of saves he made was just absolutely insane, and nobody expected that out of Hudobin. But
We did. We knew he could make those saves.
we knew he could make the saves, but now we have to expect him to do that. That's an expectation now. That's not like a surprising thing now. From everybody, he's gonna be expected to make those kind of saves, or we're toast.
Yep.
Honestly, because
To close it out, my gut feeling is yes, he will be able to, but I have
right,
nothing to base that on, so I can't give anybody any good feelings about it. Sorry.
right, and well, I mean, here's his stats real quick, and we'll close it out with that question: 16, 8, and 4, 222 G goals against average, and an NHL leading 930 save percentage. That's crazy among goalies with at least 25 games played. And then he had 4 shutouts in the 30 games that he started. And then in the postseason, he was 14 and 10, 269 goals against average, 917 save percentage, and 1 shutout in the 25 games that he played. So that's hard to reciprocate. That's hard to do again. And I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, and then the final question. Will Miro Heiskanen continue to raise his game?
Yes. Podcast over.
I think that's an easy question compared to the other two. So
Yes, just seeing what happened with how he plays and us watching every game, being able to see him just get better with every game. It really was like week by week, you could see the progression he would make. Like he's an outstanding player. Everyone is still underestimating him. Putting Makar over Heiskanen is honestly, in my opinion, the dumbest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Haskinen's much better than McCarr. McCarr can score goals, and that's why people put him up there. But Heiskanen is such a well-rounded player, the best stick checker in the league, I think. Like his
Mm-hmm.
stick checks are phenomenal. It's crazy how he gets pucks sometimes. But yeah, I think that's definite.
I think it was the NHL Network that had Heiskanen at 45, and then I think Cale Makar was at 34.
Something like
And
that. It was stupid.
but Greg Wyshynski of ESPN, he had a list of NHL defensemen 23 and under, who's the best, and he had Heiskanen at number 1, and now he had Makar at 2, and then he had Hughes at 3. So
That's
there's
correct.
yeah, that I have agreed. The amount of time that Heiskanen was playing and how much he was relied upon, and honestly, for halfway through the postseason, we were talking about who's the MVP of the playoffs. Is it Hudobin or is it Heiskanen? So, other than Nikita Kucherov or Braden Point, he scored the third most points in the playoffs. So, it's insane. So
Yeah, I think he's the best young defenseman, and I think he's going to be the Stars' central player for years to come. So I think that's definitely going to happen. He hasn't showed any signs of being worse. When even Klinger would show signs of like distress sometimes. So I think he's a once in a lifetime player, and I think we're very blessed to be able to see him on the ice.
8 goals, 27 assists, 35 points in 68 games, and 26 points in 27 postseason games. That is almost a point
That
per
is
game.
absolutely insane.
for
That's
a
ridiculous
for a
for a defenseman.
he's going all Paul Coffey. And most of y'all probably don't even know who Paul Coffey is.
I don't
He
even know
was
who Paul Coffey is, old man.
Yeah, Paul Coffey played with Wayne Gretzky, and he was like a Bobby Orr kind of defenseman, scoring multiple points, and you know, like a Brian Leach almost. I'm probably throwing all these names at you, and you don't even know who any of these guys are.
I knew the Gretzky one.
Brian Brian Leach, Bobby Orr.
Oh, I know Bobby Orr. Yeah.
Okay, Brian Leach.
Yeah, he's a leech.
You're
I mean, why would I
idiots.
know the name of a leech?
Arguably the best American-born defenseman. So he played for the Rangers for a very long time.
Obviously, wasn't that good.
Okay. Oh, I've missed doing these with you, Chris. This has been fun.
Sorry,
All right.
Mr. Leech.
Sorry, Mr. Leach. We gotta tag him on Twitter or something. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for us today. You can follow us on Twitter at StarcasticR or like us on Facebook on our Facebook page, and you can also follow us on YouTube. Like and subscribe on there. And
Yeah, check out the YouTube. More stuff coming.
Yeah, we've actually started putting some stuff out there that is not included in the podcast. And I'd also like to announce something really special that we're going to start doing. So starting in January 3rd of 2021, along with doing the podcast, Starcastic Remarks is actually going to be joining 365 Sportscast Radio Network. Now, what it is, it's an internet radio station that broadcasts sports 24/7. And they've got all sorts of shows. They've got team-specific shows. They've got sport-specific shows. Go ahead and check them out, and they're going to be awesome. And we're very excited to be a part of this awesome opportunity.
Very cool. You can get all DFW teams over there probably. So that's a really awesome place to go get any sports news that's not trashy Sports Center.
All right,
And
a lot.
podcasts are still coming to the normal places. They're not
Yes,
going
yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, we're not stopping the podcast. So, along with the radio show, we're going to be doing the podcast as well. So, anyway, guys, along with Chris, I'm Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.